Let's have some fun, man. One of the best players in America. You know,
Yeah.
I love this. I love the interviews, man, where we can showcase our Central Ohio's own incredible athletes, and we've got one of the best football and basketball from Pickerington North High School, Jack Sawyer. Okay. Hey, welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate you guys for having me on,
man?
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
This is like the hard-hitting, sweet-shooting Jack Sawyer of Pickerington North High School, man. And Zach, I'm gonna let you start him off with the questions, man. But this is one of the best athletes in America that we have on the Central Ohio Hoops Report, man.
All right, so my first question is, what's your secret? Like, how the hell do you how are you so skilled in basketball when you're a 5-star defensive end that is on the radar of every college coach in America? Like, where do you get the time? I mean,
I don't know. It's kind of hard sometimes, but I guess I get it from my parents. You know, my mom was one of the best basketball players, you know, in the country when she was in high school. So I guess I kind of get a lot of her genetics.
oh yeah,
A lot of her work ethic, and my dad was a great football player as well. Just didn't really have the size, so I guess that's where I get my my athletic ability from.
Look, you brought it up, so let's talk about it. Your mom, Michelle Sawyer now, but Michelle Shea back in high school. She went to Pickerington Central when there was only one Pickerington school. She's one of the best players that ever come out of this area, out of that school. I remember her beating my high school, stopping us from a couple state championships, as we talked about in the pre-production, man. So just talk about what that's like. Just talk about growing up. Was that something that she brought up to you a lot? Like, hey, this is what I did, this was my path, or is this something that you just kind of learned growing up?
You know, she never really liked to brag about herself. You know, my parents wanted us to be, you know, me and my sister be our own people. So they just kind of just instilled in us to be hard workers, you know, be good people as well, you know, just take care of stuff in the classroom and on the gridiron or the hardwood. And, you know, if you work hard, be a good person, things are going to be good to you too.
That's awesome, man. Definitely. Outstanding family, incredible genetics. So there's no surprise that you're here. This is a basketball show, and I got that, but I want to take you back a little bit, okay? Just talk about the season you had. It was impressive. It didn't come out in the amount of victories and the playoff performance, you know, the playoff berth that you guys would have wanted at Pickerington North, but you still got a lot of great players, a lot of great performances. But just talk about your season individually. Did you get what you expected from it this year?
You know, I thought it was a great season. I thought we were rolling early on. You know, we go and play a Western Central team that was one of the best in the area at the time. We beat them 56-0.
Yes.
And, you know, at that time, everything was high and good. They were talking about us being one of the best teams in the state. And then we kind of had a letdown in Dublin Coffin. One of our best players gets hurt, Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
They come back and beat us. And then it's kind of like, it's Pick North done. We kind of struggle a little bit more, get a tough win, and then lose to Pick Central, which is kind of, you know, a tough loss. It's always a tough loss to lose to your rival. And then there are people wondering if we're going to get in the playoffs or not. And then we go and lose one to Lancaster too. And, you know, it was tough not making the playoffs, but I feel like we had a great year. And next year is definitely going to be even better.
I do believe so, man. I got a chance to watch you play a couple times, man. Just the aggression, just the size, the speed, the athletic ability. You also play some offense.
Yes, sir.
All right, caught a couple passes out there. Just talk about playing offense. You know, defense is your calling card. Do you like to get your hands on the ball and you make plays and get in the end zone?
Most definitely. I love scoring touchdowns too, but getting sacks is probably my favorite. But like you said, I catch a couple passes a game too. Whatever I can do to help the offense get going. I like having the ball in my hands and making plays. You know, it's all fun to me. So I just love doing it.
Absolutely. Again, this is one of the top recruits in America right here at Pickerington North High School. Jack Sawyer, one of the best players. Zach, I'm going to let you hit him with some basketball questions, and I'm going to come back with some.
You might. Question
first.
Well,
keep going.
Right,
yeah, let's go. Yeah.
There's been some major coaching changes in the Big Ten lately, especially at Ohio State. Ohio State was one of the first, programs that were on you early.
Yes, sir.
What's your relationship like with Ryan Day? How do you feel about him as a coach, and how do you think he's going to do at Ohio State?
Yeah, me and Coach Day, early on when he first took the job, he made one of the first stops to come see me, which means a lot to me. That he'd come and see me early on when he has a bunch of 2019 recruits that he has to keep locked up. And so I did visit down there too for a bowl practice, and we had meetings with him too. And I have a great relationship with him so far, and I feel good about Ohio State right now.
And then Coach Al Washington is in Michigan. According to 24/7 Sports, that was your recruiter. What's your relationship with Al Washington, and how do you think he's going to help Ohio State's?
So he was the first guy to ever recruit me. Cincinnati was my first offer, and he was the D-line coach there. He was the first guy to give me an offer. So me and him have a great relationship ever since he was back in Cincinnati, and then when he went to Michigan too. So yeah, we built a great relationship over the years.
And then on the basketball court, so we talked about this before the show got going. That turnaround jumper, you said you don't know really where it came from. Against Dublin Coffin, that is everything you did almost. It was dominant. Just talk about where you learned to shoot that shot, and then how you're going to use that shot going forward when guys try and defend you different ways. Just talk about where you learned that shot and just how you're using it right now.
I think I learned it in AAU this season. We were playing against Indy Heat. I think they have a couple 6'10" kids. I wasn't getting my shots off easily, and one time I just stopped and turned around and hit one in the 6'10" dude's face. And ever since then, I just kept doing it, and it kept working. So it became one of my main moves, and I'm just going to continue to keep using it until someone can stop it. So that's how I feel about it.
If there's anyone in the area that can stop that shot right now, for me, it's the best turnaround fadeaway I've seen since Seth Towns. For you,
George Reese, man.
Compared him to a legend from the 90s.
Yeah, George Reese, back from Independence, man, and Ohio State fame. I think the shot is the physical, right? You get a chance to be physical upon the shot. But then again, it's a new day and age, and everybody wants to shoot the three. And I appreciate the fact that you go down there, kind of like a LaMarcus Aldridge who scored 56 points the other night. It's an easy basket for you. You got the size to shoot over people. So I think it's an awesome shot, and continue to master that.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Sir.
But the thing I like about you on the basketball court, you do it all. Okay? You facilitate, you get your teammates involved. Just talk about what it's like on that end as well, playing defense here, just playing the whole game, not just a score, but doing everything that you do.
Yeah, so, basketball is obviously one of the biggest team sports there is, and I don't want to be a ball hog, but obviously, I can score the ball, and I want to do that for my team. But, moving the ball around, just getting better shots when maybe my shot's not the best, kicking it to the open man just makes our offense move a whole lot better. And then, obviously one of my biggest things I like to do too is get rebounds. Rebounds are a big part of basketball. If you out-rebound a team, most likely you're going to win the game. So I like being aggressive on there and helping my team get boards, more possessions, more points. That's a big way to win the game in high school basketball.
I've been impressed with your toughness ever since your freshman year. You were on a team mainly of seniors last year, and if a guy made a mistake, like, you weren't shy to let him know.
Yeah,
and
yes,
I think that was really cool. Just watching it. I remember that Dublin Coffman game last year. I'm like, this dude's a freshman, and he's like grabbing dudes by the jersey and yelling at him. I just love that. Talk about your toughness. You can't be the type of player you are in both sports without being tough. Like, where did that come from? Is that your parents instill that in you?
Oh, yeah. That definitely comes from my parents ever since I was young, playing me up, not letting me be just the greatest player in my grade, always make me play against older kids, just instilling with me everything I do. Everything's not going to be easy, so playing in the backyard against my mom and my dad, they never let me win. So that probably comes with, being tough. And especially with football just makes you a tougher player, tougher person in life. Because, you're going to get hit, you're going to get knocked on your back. It's how you get up and keep going, and that's where it comes from.
Let me take you back to being a young tyke, like you talked about, being back there with mom and dad and everything like that. The sports you played growing up, obviously you were playing football, you were playing basketball. Another sport that you talked about, you played baseball. And just talk about how good you were at that. And you could be a potentially three-sport in high school athlete that had a chance to play on the Division I level. Just talk about the gifts that that you have in your ability.
So I played baseball my whole life growing up, ever since I was a little kid. And getting to high school, everyone was talking to me about being a 12-year letter winner, which that would mean a lot to me. But after my freshman season in football and getting all the early recruitment that I did and the early offers, I thought it was time to hang baseball up for good, probably. And this big spring's a huge thing for football with camps and getting stronger in speed training and basketball as well. And I just felt like it was better for me to give up baseball and try to keep getting as big as I can and as fast as I can, as strong as I can for football, because I feel like that's my future.
Man, I wish I was like good like that in just one sport, But
absolutely.
To see a player like you just doing it on both courts or both fields, both courts, and just being as skilled as you are. It's really incredible because it seems like not a lot of guys put the work into their skill development. So to see that for you, being busy literally all summer and spring and fall with football, to still have the time to develop into a reliable post scorer with the turnaround jumper, and then obviously your post up ability is really fun to watch. For you, you guys had a disappointing end to your basketball season this past year.
Yeah.
What's it going to take to get back to the district finals, and how are you going to have to lead this team? Even though you're a sophomore, what's it going to take from you to get those guys back to that level?
Coach Bates, every practice, he's honest about it. Last year, the letdown we had against Mount Vernon, which we got to give credit to them too. They played a great game, but there's no way that team should have lost to them. And I think everybody knows that. And this year we've had a different kind of swag to us about us. And every day in practice, it's a battle. Coach Bates is really taking that onto us. And for me, it's got to be a better leader for our team. I'm probably like the only kid on there besides Hunter and Chris a little bit that played a lot last year as a big role. And I just got to be able to score the ball and get a bunch of rebounds, help play defense, and just got to help lead our team a little better. And I feel like if I do that, then we'll be really good in the tournament.
I know a lot of people ask you about football, but you're a really good basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any scenario, envision, where Jack Sawyer is playing Division I basketball in a couple years instead of football?
I get asked that question a lot, and I'd say the only time I think about it is if Duke came or someone, or Michigan or Ohio State or Michigan State in basketball, then I might consider it. But other than that, I probably won't.
No, I want to see him maybe. You pick whatever school you want, but in the fall of 2021,
you said
Ohio State grad, I would love on opposite ends of the defensive line, you got Zach and Jack. That would be.
You guys can hashtag too, man. Hashtag the year, Jack and Zach. How awesome would that be, man?
But, take the best offer, take the best fit.
Right.
But I'm an Ohio State grad, so I always pump the Buckeyes. But, this offer list is already pretty incredible according to 24/7 Sports.
Read 'em.
Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, Cincinnati, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh.
And everybody else who's not on the list, they just sleeping right now.
Or there may be offers that aren't reported, but some pretty great programs on here with a lot of defensive line talent. A school like Kentucky, Josh Allen's been an animal this year.
Yes, one of the top players drafted.
I like what Coach Stoops is doing down there as well. They're taking guys, especially guys from Ohio that didn't get the Ohio State, Michigan offers, and coming down there and turning into great great football players. So that's congrats again on just your recruitment and everything that's going on, the accomplishments you're having. There's really, I don't think you can find many players across the country with his accomplishments in multiple sports. If you were still able to play baseball, I'm sure you'd be right up there with the Joey Velazquez's of the baseball prospects too. So I love seeing multi-sport athletes. I don't like when guys just kind of specialize to one sport because you never know what opportunities could be in those other sports. So again, just congrats on the success you've had, and it's been it's only been a year and a half, but it's been really fun to cover you.
Appreciate that
at this point. So
yes,
thank you.
I want to piggyback on what he read a list of schools there. Some of those are awesome academic institutions.
Yes, sir.
So we'd like to do a PSA here that you're going to do right now, and I want you to talk about the importance of academics. To have a list that impressive, that means that not only are you an outstanding athlete, but you are taking the classroom very seriously to have this kind of opportunity. Please tell the audience out there why this is so important for you in your future.
Yes, sir. Without school, without getting the grades, probably I wouldn't be having any offers right now, and you wouldn't be able to get recruited if you didn't take classroom seriously, take your grades seriously, carry yourself off the court, with some respect to others, and just be a good person as well. But grades are the most important thing right now. If you're not doing that first, then you probably shouldn't be worrying about basketball or football or anything else. So everyone's just got to study, get their grades done, and you'll be good. You'll be good.
Do you have any particular habits that you had to break to be better academically?
Some of the habits, I'd say probably just put the Xbox or PS4 controller down a little bit more, and just study a little bit more and get your grades right first, and then that's most important.
Yeah, that stuff will always be there.
Right.
Absolutely.
I got a comment from my dad. He says, another son of a Westland guy
Yeah.
My dad and your dad went to high school together.
Really?
Apparently, he said shout out to Lyle Sawyer.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Mike Fleer is my dad. He was class of '87 at Westland. So
Okay. Yeah.
so that's a shout out to the '80s grads at Westland High School. So
You had no idea that it was disconnected.
I
when
didn't.
you walked in
I didn't
here
know.
this morning, did you? Oh man, what a morning it's been. So look, again, we talked about Coach Bates, Pick North, what you guys are looking forward to. Let's kind of fast forward a little bit. You got a big year coming up, right? Your summer and spring is going to be, I'm sure, nonstop, 24/7 working out. You talked about the speed, and what is it that you want? What's the player that you want to be next year as a junior to go from maybe the number 5 defensive end to the number 1 defensive end, and basically put everybody on notice that Jack Sawyer, best defensive player in America, so the offers can continue to flood in.
I just want to be the best player I can possibly be, and I feel like if I'm the best player I can possibly be, then I'll be the best player in the country. And I just want to continue to work as hard as I can, and never get complacent. Because if I get complacent and start slacking a little bit, miss a workout here, miss a weight room session here, then it's going to start coming back to me. Players are going to catch me, and that's always motivated me. I've never wanted to be average, and I'm kind of scared to be average. So that's why I've always worked so hard, and I want to be the best player in America, and that's really my goal.
Awesome. Well, all right, so
it's incredible. I mean,
yes,
to have a player like this on our show, Two Sports, it's been really fun to talk about already.
Yes, sir.
And again, I just congratulate you on everything that you've accomplished, and also on the the academic side as well. A lot of guys, they get caught up in the hype for sports, and they kind of take school lightly. And for you to not do that, I think it's very impressive. And again, best of luck going forward. I think you're going to accomplish some great things, and we're very fortunate to be able to cover a player of your caliber here in Central Ohio. So.
Absolutely. I got a couple more things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And as we get a chance to wrap this up, I always like people to talk about who helped you get here. Okay, you didn't get here by yourself. Obviously, we know mom's a legend, dad's a legend. You know what I mean? So your genes are good. But who are some of the other people? I'm talking about teammates, coaches, and people that you've surrounded yourself with that have helped you get to this level to be the player and the student athlete that you are today.
It's probably, obviously my parents, the biggest roles in my life right now, and getting me to where I am. And I'd have to say all my friends, my family. One of the little point guard on my team, the redhead, his dad's like my second dad pretty much. Growing up, he's been helping me my whole life. And my AAU coach, Dave Mergen, AJ Mergen's dad, they played big roles for me. And a couple of the recruiting analysts like Mark Givler and those guys, Bill Green, they've helped me get my name out and
Zach
stuff.
Fleer.
Zach Fleer, yep, you guys too. And I appreciate everything you guys do for me. And I'm just thankful to be in the situation I am with the people I'm with, and just blessed. Yes, sir.
Shout out some more of those teammates. You named some basketball teammates, but name some of those football teammates. You got great players.
Yes, sir.
You got Chris Scott on your team that's coming back. You've played with 2 basically all-state quarterbacks the last couple of years. Mike Lowry, Jimmy Ryrick. You're going to have another one that's coming in next year that's going to be good. So just shout out to your football teammates, the linemen, Tyler Foster, another friend of the program.
Yes,
here.
sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to shout out Alex Williams too. When I was a freshman playing the other side DN, he kind of took me under his wing a little bit. Taught me some technique that he's learned as he's at Ohio State right now playing D-line. And Jimmy Wyrick too, because he was highly recruited, just a couple inches off from being, I feel like, one of the best quarterbacks in America. Yeah. And he taught me how to carry myself and how to be a great football player as well. Mike Lowry, great quarterback too. Ben Johnson, one of the best football players I've been around. Just from him, he doesn't really talk that much, but you show up in the workout, man, and he's just one of the hardest workers there. Tyler Foster, like you said, one of the best tight ends in Ohio. I feel like he is the best tight end in Ohio. He's one of the hardest workers too. Great kid, great academic too. 4.3, I think.
Wow.
So I mean, just those guys I've been able to be around has just been a blessing for me as an early recruit.
Well, I mean, again, if you haven't had a chance to see him either on the basketball side or the football side, this is a young man that you definitely want to get out to see. Pick North is going to be loaded next year in football, so definitely if you're a football person, get out there and see him on the gridiron. If you're a basketball, you still got time this year. See him on the basketball court. He's one of the best players in the state. Zach, anything that you want to give Jack before we wrap it up with him, man?
Hey, I think that next Pick Central game, I think you guys will have a shot at
Yes,
seeing
sir.
you 3 times in the last couple weeks. It's young talent. I mean, just another question for me. You guys have a ton of freshman, sophomore, junior talent. What's the future of Pick North basketball going to be like with these guys in the program right now?
I think our junior class and my sophomore class, I think we're gonna go the farthest we ever won in the playoffs. I'm saying it right now. I think we're gonna get past the region. So we'll see.
They have, if you guys haven't seen Pick North yet, get to a JV game. The freshman Jerry Saunders has been lighting it up.
Yeah.
They have another freshman,
Dior
Connors, who
great.
can play. I like Corey Hudson, who's another freshman.
Corey.
In that sophomore class, obviously Jack is the top guy, but Casey George has been a sophomore that's really started the last several games at the point guard spot.
One was Drees, too.
Dries is tough, too.
Yes,
That's a
yes.
throwback City League type guard.
Yeah, he was.
There's some weapons there at Pick North. With you leading the show, I think you guys have a shot to go as far as you mentioned. If it's not this year, I think next year definitely you guys could be the team to beat in the area as you gain more experience. So if you haven't seen Pick North football, basketball, come see these guys. Jack Sawyer is worth the price of admission. You don't become a 5-star player by accident. And I'll say it right now, he's the best sophomore player in the state of Ohio on the basketball court. You can say other guys may be better prospects, but this dude's the best player. He's the most skilled, polished. And, you don't drop 22 points on maybe 10 shots, 11 shots against Kaufman like you did. So just keep up the hard work. It's obviously going to pay off. You got that Westland bloodline. I do too. So
Yes, sir.
there must be something in it. But again, thanks for coming on the program. You're a great kid, and I got some great parents. So best of luck to you. And again, it's just been an honor to be able to talk to you here.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me on.
We appreciate you, man. That's Jack Sawyer from Pickerington North, one of the top football and basketball players in America.
Won't find another guy in America, I think, that's as good in 2 sports like that, especially if it's just baseball or basketball and football.
Yes.
Like Jack. So shout out to Jack and Pick North, especially Coach Bates for pushing back practice to let him come on.
That's true.
We do appreciate that, so thank you guys again.